Get ready. Today is no ordinary day. Today the sky is changing before our eyes. And with it, something inside you is about to shift as well. You might not have noticed yet, but Saturn, the planet of serious lessons, long cycles, and deep limits, is doing something incredibly rare. Its iconic rings are disappearing. Yes, that massive planet, with its majestic rings spinning for millions of years. Today they vanish from our view. And you might be asking yourself, okay, but what does that have to do with me? The answer? Everything. Because when a symbol as powerful as Saturn's rings disappears, the universe isn't just putting on an astronomical show, it's sending a message. A message that the boundaries holding you back are starting to dissolve. That the structures supporting who you no longer are about to fall apart. Today, March 23rd, 2025, a silent gear turns in the cosmos. And if you're paying attention and you know what to look for, you'll realize your own destiny has just begun to shift too. Saturn is known for its majestic rings, symbols of power, order, time, and structure. But today, those rings have simply vanished from sight. And it's not because something happened to the planet itself, but because of a rare cosmic alignment. Called the ring plane crossing, this phenomenon happens when Earth, the Sun, and Saturn's ring plane align perfectly. When this occurs, we see the rings edge on, like a blade so thin that our telescopes on Earth can barely detect them. In other words, the rings didn't disappear, but the way we see them did. And here lies the symbolic and spiritual key. Sometimes the structure is still there, but the way you perceive it changes completely. This phenomenon happens only once every 13 to 15 years, and even then, it's rarely as visible or intense as it is now. In short, this is one of those unique moments when the universe shows you something and then drops the curtain. It's like the cosmos is saying, look now, because soon it'll be different and you can't rewind time. Saturn represents time, karma, soul-level commitments, and its rings, so beautiful, so steady, now seem to have disappeared. What is that trying to tell you? What's disappearing from your life? What once felt unshakable, but now is fading before your eyes? These aren't poetic questions. They're a mirror. And if you're brave enough to face what the sky is reflecting, you'll realize the disappearing rings are showing you exactly what it's time to let go of. In astrology, Saturn isn't just the planet of hardship. It's the guardian of time, the lord of karma, the master of the invisible structures that hold your life together. Where Saturn touches, it demands commitment. It asks for responsibility. It sets boundaries, but it also delivers maturity, wisdom, true growth. And its rings, those circular bands that wrap around it like a sacred field, symbolize exactly that. Order, boundaries, the cycles that both protect and restrict. They represent the walls you accept, the vows you honor, and the limits you've yet to challenge. So what does it mean when the rings disappear from our view? It means, symbolically, that the outlines begin to dissolve, that the limits become invisible, and you're being called to see beyond what once felt absolute. What once held you back is now suspended. What once was solid structure is now just a visual memory. This is the deepest spiritual invitation of this moment. Are you ready to move without the old protections? Can you walk without leaning on the same crutches? Can you grow even if the ground beneath your feet is shifting? Saturn tests you, but it also prepares you. And now, with its rings hidden, it's asking, if the structures disappear, who are you without them? Because in that answer lies the beginning of your next chapter. And only you can give it. You might be wondering, but how does all of this actually affect me, here on Earth, in my real life? The answer is simple. Everything that happens in the sky activates something inside you. And Saturn's rings disappearing is no exception. It's a symbolic and energetic trigger for a full review of your internal structure. We're talking about limits you created yourself, and now need to question. Old rules that no longer make sense. Commitments you've kept out of loyalty, but that no longer resonate with your soul. This phenomenon doesn't come to destroy your foundation. It comes to ask, does that foundation still support you, or is it keeping you stuck? That's why, over these next few days, you might start to feel a sudden urge to break contracts, agreements, or repetitive patterns. Frustration with rigid routines. An inner call to redefine what success and stability mean to you. This event may also stir up issues with authority figures, questions about your personal responsibility, old beliefs inherited from parents, bosses, teachers, everything that shaped who you were supposed to be. And right now, what Saturn is showing you is, you've grown. Now it's time to update the way you hold your own life together. It's as if the old walls are fading away, and you're being given the chance to choose, build new ones, or live with more space. It's not about rushing into action, it's about acting with truth. Because if you know how to take advantage of this cosmic window, you'll realize Saturn isn't limiting you. It's freeing you from everything that's no longer essential. It's not every day the universe gives us a symbol this clear. The disappearance of a visible structure to reveal an invisible process. And when that happens, the best way to honor the moment is by creating a space of connection. Simple, but powerful. Here's a ritual you can do today, wherever you are. Set the space. Choose a quiet spot, free from distractions. If you can, dim the lights or use soft lighting. Place an object in front of you that represents structure or limits to you. It could be a notebook, a stone, a box. 2. Reflect and write. Grab a pen and paper and answer with full honesty. What commitments am I keeping out of obligation alone? What inner or outer structures no longer make sense in my life? What self-imposed limit is now holding me back from growing? Write slowly without censoring yourself. You don't need solutions, just naming things is already part of the release. 3. Guided visualization. Close your eyes. Visualize Saturn's rings, gently fading, spinning, until they vanish from sight. Now imagine those same rings around you, and notice which ones you're ready to let go of. Feel what it would be like to walk without those restraints, to live with more truth, more space, more ease. 4. Make it tangible. Choose one symbolic action, however small, to mark the beginning of your new structure. It could be a decision, a conversation, a closure, or even organizing a space or ending a digital cycle. What matters is signaling to the universe and to yourself that you're ready for something new. 5. Honor the silence. This isn't a ritual for immediate results. It's a ritual of listening. When you finish, sit in silence for a few minutes. Don't try to interpret, just feel, because Saturn's energy doesn't shout. It reveals itself in the quiet, and it's in that inner space that the real transformation begins. Saturn has always been a symbol of structure, time, and responsibility. But today, it's showing us something else. By disappearing from view, Saturn doesn't lose its power. It redefines it. It invites us to look inward, without the outlines that made us feel safe, without the limits that protected us, but also confined us. And that's the beauty of this moment. Saturn is fading, so you can finally see yourself without the mold, without the old stories, without the roles you inherited, without the excuses that once felt as solid as its rings. Now it's just you, face to face with your own time, with your inner structure, with the choices you'll keep feeding and the ones you're finally ready to let go of. Because yes, this is a spiritual moment, but it's also a human one, raw, intimate, and transformative, and you can feel all of it, even without seeing Saturn in the sky. Because what's disappearing out there is only reflecting what's already changing in here. So before you jump to the next video, the next distraction, breathe, observe, feel. What is this absence revealing to you? Who are you when the rings fall away? Who do you want to be when everything that used to limit you is finally gone? The answer won't come from the sky. It's already here, in your silence, in your choice, in your now.